Now that we have Storm Shadow and the background and kind of got our SIG going here, let's go ahead and add some text. So I'll come over and select the text tool with all my tools over here. You see at the top it brings me up all the property for my text and different things you can do with it. So I'm going to make it a little bigger than 12 points, say 24, and instead of black we're going to make it red. Just kind of match the glow around Storm Shadow if we can there. And we will click down here in our SIG so we can start typing. Alright. Now the first thing I want to do, hit enter, and we're going to add some FX to this so the text stands out. So while we're selected on there, and a different way this time, we're going to right click on here just to show you the way that you can put effects on there. Instead of hitting the button, I'm going to just right click on there and we'll select blending options, and that brings up the same thing if you're going to click on the button at the bottom, the FX tab. So first thing let's do is a stroke. Stroke is basically just an outline. We're going to double click on the stroke so it brings up the stroke properties. I'm going to change the size to 1, and I always make sure it's on the outside. Oh, it is. And we'll change the color to black. Oh. Okay. And let's give that a drop shadow. I'm going to drop shadow, and I'm going to turn that shadow all the way up, and we're going to give it a little bit, maybe the distance at 4. I'm going to give it some spread. Okay, these letters are a little thin. I'm going to click on this optional tool right here at the top. Gives me some more options, and we'll click this first thick letter right here, and it turns it over to bold for us. So now we got bold, and close that. See our text a little better. And I'm going to change the text. I don't like that text, so at the top here I'll click in the box with the text, and I'm just going to scroll down on my mouse, and it'll kind of give me or I'm going to scroll up rather, and it'll give us a preview of the fonts as we go through them, so you can kind of see what you want, and we can select it. It's a great way to preview what font's going to look good on your SIG. So I'll just go through a few of them here, and yeah. So what about Storm Shadow? We'll just go with that one right there, why not? And I think I'll make that a little bit bigger, and I can type it in. I don't have to select, so say 26 points. I'll kind of put this in the center here, and something like that. We have Storm Shadow. Alright, now I'm going to go and create another layer, and to create another layer I will get the text tool again, and I'm going to click here, and we're going to add the domain to our site. So enter, and it's too big. Let's click on that again and just adjust it to where we want to, and come up here to the top and make that, let's say 11, and that's what we come up with right there. How about we change the font on that to something a little more legible since it's smaller. and I think I'll take it off bold. Okay, let's do something with the, we're going to make the font color actually black, and we're going to change the FX on that to an outer glow. We'll add outer glow there. Let's make the outer glow white. Okay, and now that font's still a little thick, so I'm going to find something else here that's not so thick. Maybe something like that. And you see you got sharp, crisp, strong. We can make that strong. And let's just double click on the layer, or we can hit FX, whichever one, and it'll bring the layer style back up again, and we'll double click on that outer glow, and we're going to make it a little stronger, so, and add some size and spread to it a little bit here, and maybe mess with the range. You can just mess with these however you like. Okay, so now we have our text on there. Let's go ahead and add the clan logo. I'm going to go File, and we'll go Open again. I've already got a clan logo saved, but you can make your own if you want, or however you like to do that. And as you can see, this is a completely huge, so we'll go image size. We're going to go 120 pixels. And select all, edit, copy, and we'll go back to window, and go to our untitled layer, or untitled window, and edit, and paste. And we'll get our moving pointer here, and we'll just move that to where we want it. Something like that right there. And I'll click on the FX tab on that layer and just add another drop shadow for the heck of it. Make it stand out a little more. Okay. So now we pretty much got our Sig here. Last thing I like to do on my Sigs, here, let's come over here, drag this up a bit, and I've got all these layers there, so I'm going to go to the visibility of the last one and unclick it, so my background's gone because we're not saving it, and I'm just going to right click on any of these layers here, and you see merge visible, so we'll just merge them all down. Merged everything visible to one layer. We'll turn our background back on, and the last thing I do mostly with all my Sigs is put some kind of border on there, so I'm going to create a new layer, and I'll get my magnifying glass. I'm going to zoom in on one of the corners over here, one of the straight edge corners. And I'm going to take the marquee the rectangle tool again, and I just want to trace the background. So I'll start up here, and worked the first time. And we'll click View, Actual Pixels, and you see that we now have the background outlined. So while we're on this new layer we just created, I'm going to go to Edit at the top, and we're going to click Stroke, and make sure it's set at 1 pixel. This is kind of your personal preference. I do mine with 1. I've got red, you know, it matches the font there, and I'll always do it inside, of course, and we'll click OK. And let's go select, deselect. It'll make our little selection box disappear. And you'll see it just puts the red square line around the background there. Now, one more time, I'm going to get the magnifying glass and drag over on the corner. My rectangle marquee tool again, and I'm going to just come inside of that red line with another box. Just going to trace it in there. There we go. And we'll go view actual pixels. So now we've got a box right inside that red line. And on here I'm going to go edit, stroke again. This time I'm going to change the color to black. And this is how I do my borders. Borders are totally a personal preference. So, okay. Select and deselect. We'll make our box disappear. And you see the red line stands out more now that we got that black line added in. So last thing we need to do is erase this line over storm shadow over here. So let's just get our erase tool, and we'll get the magnifying glass and zoom in over here so we can see what we're doing. And eraser, I don't see my little circle, so that means caps lock is on. Once again, if caps lock's on, you won't be able to see the outline of your eraser or paintbrush, so we'll turn caps lock off. There it is. We'll just erase this line here. Something like that. View actual pixels. And there's our Sig. So now we're ready to save. Let's make this as small as we can get it. So I'll go back to the rectangle tool, and we'll come down here and just highlight what we want, because we've got a little extra at the top here we don't really need. We don't want the file size to be any bigger than it needs to be. So image, crop, just crop that down like that. And we're not saving the background, so we'll come to the visibility and turn that layer off, and there we go. So now on your saving options, since it's not perfectly round or perfectly square, we'll go File, Save As. This is important. With all the gradients and shadows and the overhang, we're going to save it as a PNG so we get exactly what we see. A PNG, I'll call this Storm, and I'll put it on the desktop, and we'll click Save. Interlaced, none, or interlaced, that's whatever you feel. I usually put it on interlaced. You can Google that and see what that means, but we'll just make it interlaced. And minimize this. And there's the Sig we just made. Alright, so give it a shot, see what you come up with.